Start recording. Here we go. Take 3 Wrestling Podcast here, coming to you on technically Sunday morning, because it is after midnight here in South Florida. On the line with us, of course, Mike Bernier, Joe Lopez. What's up?
Somehow you.
We're on video now.
I guess we're getting fancy?
Yeah, somewhat. Well, less ghetto today than we were last week. How about that?
I wouldn't say less ghetto. I still think we have the ghetto in us. I
Pretty
think it's just
fucking
we've
ghetto.
decided to.
We're still pretty fucking ghetto. Joe, what's up?
We've decided to bootleg it.
Nothing here. I'm just staring at myself in a small box.
I was gonna say, are you looking at yourself? Because it looked like you were checking yourself out when we came.
Percent looking at myself. Whenever I can see myself, I check myself out.
Are you wearing gel in your hair?
No, I don't have enough hair to put gel in at this point.
I don't have any hair, so.
Well, I'm wearing a
that's
hat.
a choice, right? Like you shave it on purpose.
Damn fucking right.
So that you're not just bald. Yeah.
That's right. Mike, what were you gonna say? Mike, what were you gonna say?
I'm wearing a hat, so hats.
Yes.
My goal on this show, now that we're going to be recording video to put on YouTube, is to wear a different hat every day and not wear every episode and not wear the same hat twice.
Wait, RedTube, you said?
No, YouTube.
No.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
I mean, it might go up there with your distributing skills.
Careful.
Oh my God.
Careful. Up. Oh, and where'd you guys go? Oh, look at there you are.
Oh, hey, there it is.
That was special.
Well,
Yeah.
we got a couple of things on the show today. I'm looking forward to today's show. Today, we're going to reveal our tag team tournament bracket that we announced last week that we're going to be talking about in the coming weeks. That'll be in the back end of the show. And we will preview AEW Revolution. But first, I wanted to talk to everybody about my topic out the gate. We got a new WWE Champion again. The belt changed hands again.
Shocker.
Bobby Lashley is a champion.
I mean, didn't we all see the Miz as like a transitional champion happening? Like that was obvious.
He is the Zack Ryder of title belt transitions.
Title.
I won't lie. A part of me felt like maybe they push it to Fastlane just cause. But now in hindsight, I'm kind of glad they pulled the trigger now this early. I'm kind of glad.
No, I agree.
And I actually love the way they did it too. Like they had a little delay. Fucking Miz gets the fucking shits. So scared and all that. And fucking they put it to the 10 o'clock hour and all that. I love that. I thought it was great. And by the way, it worked in the ratings because apparently the biggest hour of the night wasn't the last hour.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, according to the Raw statistics. So yeah, so Bobby Lashley is the champion. And
Lashley.
No surprise he's a champion. No surprise, because you see this coming the last couple of months now. The Hurt Business on fire. The packaging to him MVP it's great. I mean, you go on social media, everybody's talking about everybody's. You can feel that groundswell of support. I guess more so than anything else, I want to focus on this more than anything else is going forward. We're still 5 weeks to WrestleMania. A lot of things can happen between now and then. You still got a pay-per-view in between, Fastlane. How are we booking Lashley? Because I think my only fear now is I'm hoping that he's not another transitional champion. I'm really hoping they give this guy a nice little run going forward. So let's see. Where do you see this Lashley title run going for the next 5 weeks or beyond?
You want to take the floor for this one, or you want me to start?
I'll jump here. I've been quiet, right?
All right, go ahead.
Unseasonably quiet.
You've been staring at yourself for too long.
This is what happens when you add video and I can look at myself. This is not.
Are you enjoying yourself?
I enjoy myself regularly.
You and your fucking selfies every fucking day. You
are so lucky. I'm wearing a shirt right now.
You got more hair on your chest than I got my entire fucking body. And that includes my balls. For the record.
I mean, brought to you by Manscaped. What?
Manscaped. Hey, promo code Take 3.
Oh my God!
It may not get you a percentage off, but they may figure out who we are.
But you realize we can never have Blue Chew as a sponsor because the promo code Take 3, someone would have a heart attack if they took 3 of those. Like we would literally murder people. But at least he died happy. All right.
How did he die? His erection lasted longer than 6 hours.
Yeah.
First world problems, buddy.
So, okay, with Lashley, first of all, I have to say, as the viewer who was watching at precisely 9 p.m. for the Lashley Miz match when they pulled the shit, no pun, with Miz being like, "Ooh, my tummy hurts. I can't go and have this match." I was pissed. I actually changed the channel at that point because I was just like, I sat here waiting for this stupid match that I don't even really want to see that much, and y'all pulled this shit. I'm good. So
I can confirm that
worked, huh?
I can confirm that because he texted me, "Oh my God, are you watching Raw?" And the first thing that went through my mind was, "Oh shit, Miz retained." That was the first thing that went through my mind. Was, "Oh fuck me."
I was so annoyed.
I was like, "I'm at work. What happened?" And he goes, "They pulled a fucking okie doke, and now they're doing it at 10 o'clock." I turned the channel. I'm like,
I was just so annoyed. But so here's the thing. This is interesting, right? This is an interesting, unexpected bump in the WrestleMania road. Because I would have thought, and you're right, I agree with you, Ernest. The last few months, they've done a really good job of low-key building up Bobby Lashley. Maybe even for like the last year, they've done a really good job of turning him into a huge star. The kind of star that he always had the potential to be. But let's be honest here. This man has been around longer than Kofi Kingston. Like, remember a few years ago, everyone was making a big deal about Kofi after 11 years finally having his moment. Bobby Lashley's been around since like 2006, and everyone thought he was going to be like Brock Lesnar, young, rocket ship strapped to the world title real quickly. He got the ECW title. That was like about the best that he got during that run. So, it is awesome to finally see his potential reach, and it has been an awesome run. I've loved everything with the Hurt Business. I've loved everything with MVP and him. I think it's great. I expected that he might have won the belt at WrestleMania. I thought that this was actually going to be like an end place, as opposed to we're a month before WrestleMania, and now he's got the title. Because it really does put a lot of like interesting things into the whole booking now. Because where do you go with this? I would have thought that Drew McIntyre would have a big moment at WrestleMania, either winning the belt or retaining the belt or any of those things. At this point, I don't think you're getting that. I actually think that's almost detrimental, especially to Bobby Lashley's push here. Like, Lashley can't be champion for a month. That doesn't work.
Right. Makes no sense.
Right. It was okay with Miz as a transitional champion. Like, I love Miz. I was a little sad to see Miz only get like a 1-week title reign. But at the end of the day, that doesn't hurt Miz. Miz wasn't in a position where he was going to be this like super amazing over main eventer. He wasn't about to be positioned as the next John Cena, the next Bobby Lashley. He wasn't going to be the next anything. The Miz is the Miz. Like, the Miz is as the Miz can Mizly be. Okay? That is where we are with the Miz. But Lashley is different. Lashley has the potential to be an even bigger star than he is currently. Not if he loses the title at WrestleMania, even to my boy Drew. So I think you actually really created a scenario here where I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I hope we get Lashley and Drew at Mania because it will be one of the most unpredictable Mania matches that we've had in years. Honestly.
Real quick, Mike. We've done this podcast now for about 14 months, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the most awake you've ever been on this podcast. By far.
He's on video.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just woke up.
Yeah.
All right. Mike. So you talk about the unpredictable that is the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Obviously, what comes to mind when you think of those Hogan Warrior? That one, you didn't know which way that was really going to go.
Right.
Rock Austin at 17. You didn't know which way that one was really going to go.
Which was another one where The Rock won the belt a month before Mania. Angle was the champion for like 6 months leading into it.
So my thing here, for the detriment of both gentlemen, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, I don't know if that's a match that I put as a main event at WrestleMania because I don't want Drew to get hurt by losing clean because Drew is inevitably going to have to lose clean to Bobby because I think Bobby's a guy who's going to hold the title for a substantial amount of time. Do I think he's going to get the Kofi Kingston run? Probably not. Do I think he holds it maybe to SummerSlam and then drops it somewhere around then, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It also depends on a couple of different things. Injuries play a role into everything. Money in the Bank's going to come back around. That stuff may change the way we go with some things. But I think the reality of the situation is Bobby Lashley is a guy right now that they decided to strap the rocket ship to. And I think it's because they understand that Brock Lesnar's not coming back. I think Brock's happy. I don't think Brock can really get over the Canada border right now because Canada's shut down. He technically lives in Canada. So I don't think we're going to get Brock anytime soon. And for anyone that thinks that he's going to be in the AEW mystery man that gets announced tomorrow night, I will be almost willing to say it will not be him. I think you have a better shot at being John Cena than you do Brock Lesnar.
That fucking noise real quick.
Well, we'll get there because we're gonna have a whole topic to talk about the show, and there's some things that I want to discuss. But I don't think it's gonna be Brock. I think you have a better shot at it being CM Punk than you do Brock Lesnar tomorrow night. And you know how I feel about Punk. I love the guy to death, but I don't think he's coming back.
To WWE.
In general, I think he's a guy who's very happy where he's at. I think he's very happy with what he's done. And I don't think he's a guy that's just going to I'm going to come back now because, it's April and fans are back in the stands. Punk's always been a guy that's done it for Punk. And if he's not going to have fun, then he's not going to do it. And we'll talk about why I don't think it's going to be Punk and another reason why I don't think it's going to be Punk when we get to that topic. Let's get back to the topic at hand, which is Bobby Lashley, the Destroyer. Joe can attest to this. Before this show became a thing, I drafted Bobby Lashley in our fantasy wrestling league 2 years ago because I said that Bobby Lashley was going to be the one that was going to beat Brock Lesnar and take the title from him.
Interesting.
Ended up being, who was it? Roman, and then Roman got sick, and then it became a clusterfuck from there.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it was going to be Bobby from the rip when they re-signed him. When he left Impact and came back to WWE, I thought it was going to be Bob. Because amateur wrestler, mixed martial artist, jacked as hell.
Yeah.
I've always thought the moon of Bobby Lashley. So I always thought that it was going to be Lashley that was going to get the belt, and so does Jackson. So I'm happy. I'm happy that they got it to him. The question I have moving forward is, what does it do for the Hurt Business? Obviously, you have them as the tag champs. You have them as the world champion. You have MVP, the leader of the leaders. Little known fact, MVP was also Bobby Lashley's manager when he won the Impact World title.
Was he really?
They posted something about it on social media the other day. And Bobby Lashley joins Rob Van Dam as the only wrestlers to be ECW, Impact, and WWE champion.
That is interesting.
That is interesting.
Can I ask, and I mean, this might be a whole different topic that we can't really get into right now.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, do you think the Hurt Business has taken over as the most successful African-American stable in WWE, maybe pro wrestling history?
I would be willing to put
I would
that
say
number
taking it over
2.
from like the New Day, frankly. I don't know who else you put in that conversation.
New Day has longevity. I'm with Mike on that one.
I would say it's them in the New Day, but I think the New Day has been something that had a lot of longevity. And me and you have talked about how when I thought they moved Ian and they moved Woods and Kofi to Raw and they moved him away from Ian, and I thought it was a breakup. But it really wasn't a breakup because nobody turned on each other.
Right.
They still have their interactions at pay-per-views. They still have their interactions with each other. Right. So it wasn't really a breakup. So I think they still have the longevity. You still see New Day shirts on the Thunderdome and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's a 1A, 1B thing for me. I think it's the New Day, it's the Hurt Business, and then it's everybody else. The Nation, Doom.
Right.
You're like 7 years like down the road from where those two squads are.
Right.
Personally, I would have Lashley hold this thing until SummerSlam, and I wouldn't have anyone give him a run for his money.
Bingo.
I would keep Drew away from him. And if that means you got to put Drew in something a little bit different.
Drew needs to go in chase mode. It's time. Put him in chase mode.
But I'm okay with that.
The problem right now is low-end booking. You're 5 weeks away from WrestleMania. Who does Bobby face at WrestleMania then? The obvious answer is Drew because it makes the most sense. Miz is gonna go into his I'm gonna be part of the celebrity match.
Yeah.
With Bad Bunny and Morrison and Priest. Like that's what's gonna happen. The reality of the situation is There's no one from NXT coming up. I know the Undisputed Era broke up. Adam Cole versus Finn Balor this Wednesday night. That's going to be a fucking a banger. And then you're going to have Adam Cole eventually have to feud with Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, the potential return of Bobby Fish. Those are all things.
Is that a takeover match, you think? Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly takeover?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. We'll get there. But I think the reality of the situation is Drew's the one that makes the most sense. There's not really another guy on the Raw roster that makes a ton of sense that he could destroy. And bear with me, and Joe, you're gonna hate this, and I'm okay with that. Because I want Lashley to destroy this human being, and I want him to go through Braun Strowman.
I'm okay with that.
No, he's definitely okay with that.
But I want that match because here's the thing. You could put Drew and Sheamus in a WrestleMania match. They had a great match on Monday night. You could make that the blow-off of their feud. They've had this little feud for the title. Make that a number one contenders match. Make that something completely out in left field. Hold on, my wife's now texting me.
Hi, Carol.
Look, if you're telling me that a WrestleMania card could either have, on the one hand, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, you can have fucking Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. That's a thing that's probably gonna fucking happen. You know?
Exactly.
Or you could have Bobby Lashley get to destroy the guy who last April destroyed Goldberg, and that's supposed to make him mean something. And you could have Drew in a match against, like you said, Sheamus, or just anyone. You could have Drew just in a match where Drew gets to look good and get a Mania win. Because you're right, like, I don't like the idea of Drew losing at Mania right now.
Neither do I.
But I want to see Lashley dominate. You're right. Like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for what could honestly be one of the most star-making title reigns that we've seen. Like Drew's. Drew is a legitimate main event star now. Bobby Lashley can be by the time this thing is over if they don't fuck it up. Like, I feel like RuPaul right there. Like, don't fuck it up. It's that simple, you know?
Well, the other thing that you can see, and another thing that I would like to see occur, Lashley goes through guys like Strowman and, you know, the other upper mid-card guys on the Raw roster eventually before having the match with Drew at SummerSlam. I think that makes the most sense.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I think the realization is we're going to get Drew versus Bobby at WrestleMania. And it's one of those where it's like, I'm not a guy that likes fluky or false finishes or something along those lines. But this is a match where if you're going to book both of these guys against each other, you're booking the guy that you've had as the cream of the crop during the pandemic and the guy that you're strapping the rocket ship to. You're booking yourself into a corner. And it's a corner that WWE normally never has a way to get out of. They always find a way to screw it up.
Yeah.
Because Vince, of course.
No, it's not that. It's the fact that you have a multi-billion-dollar organization. You have multiple wrestlers at your hands. I don't care who Bobby Lashley faces at WrestleMania. You could tell me he's fighting John Morrison or Damian Priest or Cedric Alexander or Shelton Benjamin or MVP. I don't care. Give me the guy that lost the title in the flukiest way possible after destroying everybody in the Elimination Chamber, then getting taken out by Bobby Lashley. I would much rather Bobby Lashley now be the heel that comes out in a suit and says, you don't deserve a shot at the title. You've got to earn it. You've got to go through Cedric. You've got to go through Shelton. You've got to go through MVP. You got to go through whoever else they get in the Hurt Business. Go through them to then get to me. That gets you to SummerSlam. That gets you long term.
Right.
The short-term problem is they're going to rush this, and Drew McIntyre is going to win a gauntlet match tomorrow night on Raw, and it's going to be like, oh, and now he's fighting Bobby Lashley for the title at WrestleMania. So what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you keep Lashley strong? Do you keep the title on him? Do you have him lose by disqualification, something you normally would never see at a WrestleMania? The safest route for WWE to go here is to find a way to get Drew McIntyre into something else. Let it be Sheamus. Let it be Braun Strowman, and let Shane McMahon call Drew McIntyre's help or something. Like, I don't care. Give Lashley anybody else at WrestleMania except for Drew McIntyre, and I will be fine with it because I want to see the two of them eventually be undefeated, and then clash at SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, right. And that's a big mark. It's a big card. Absolutely.
Because here's the reality of what I think SummerSlam is going to be this year. Nothing has been announced so far. That might be a stadium show. And that might be the first one that we can get 90,000 people into into stands for once people start getting vaccinated more. So what's the thing that could help draw that? Roman Reigns in a title match, and give me the best match that you can from Raw. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. You want to sell out something in the summer? It's a pretty good way to start.
Oh yeah, I can see Lesnar if Lesnar comes back. Lesnar and Roman, the Paul Heyman Bowl.
If Brock comes back, put him on Raw. Let Heyman be on both shows. Keep him and Roman
Separate.
Away from each other.
Yes.
They feuded for what? Like it felt like 3.5 years there for a while. Just let them be. Let them be. We don't need them again. Like they had good matches. I'm not saying they didn't. The WrestleMania match where Seth Rollins cashed in was a good match prior to the cash in. It became a great match because Seth cashed in.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. I agree. Basically, what you're saying here, and I agree with you, Mike. The two biggest priorities for WrestleMania is to keep Bobby Lashley strong and to not hurt Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre can actually gain more by getting in chase mode.
Well, see, I think, look, we know for years it's been said by everybody that WWE has had a star-making problem. They haven't been very good at making new stars. The thing is, in the last year or so, they've made some new stars. I think Drew McIntyre is certifiably a main event star.
Without question.
Huge, huge star. I think Bobby Lashley has the potential to be there also. I think Roman Reigns has finally done it. Like, I don't actually think prior to the last year or so that Roman Reigns was actually the main event made man level star that they pushed him as. You know, like, he was in the way that he was presented on the show, but in terms of actually being over with the crowd, in terms of actually being someone that we all accept and say, like, oh yeah, this guy's a star. This guy's a huge star in the company. He's there now. It took turning him heel, which a lot of us had always been like hoping for a very long time. And it took kind of, this whole new storyline, having Heyman by his side, all these things. And it works. And he's now this like huge star. And now you've got Lashley, who has the potential to be this next huge star. Back in the 80s, back in the 90s, when they were building guys, you built a lot of guys all at the same time. And you did that by not having them going against each other, but by having them go against different people. You have a couple of guys who are kind of sacrificial lambs, like Braun Strowman is the perfect sacrificial lamb at this point. They fucked Braun Strowman up too much.
You like
He's
that,
not coming back.
You like
right?
that.
Like first of all, I don't like the guy anyway. We all know that. I don't think he's a very good wrestler. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of him as a person. With all that stuff here, right? So, like, I think that he had a chance of kind of being rebuilt as a character when Raw Underground was a thing. They shot in the bed with that. They got rid of it. Now he's done. I'm sorry. Like, I have no interest in seeing him rebuilt. So you know what? Use him. Use him. He's the perfect person to be in there with Lashley, like you were saying. Have him lose.
What now? What?
The perfect person for Bobby Lashley to fight at WrestleMania to get a great match out of Destroyer is the phenomenal AJ Styles.
No, that's also a great one. That is a great one.
Here's a question real quick. Is Bobby Lashley now a tweener?
I think Bobby Lashley is the Destroyer. I don't think he has a heel or face persona. I think he's a certified ass kicker. And I think that's all he's going to be. And I think that's what makes the most sense. Cedric and Shelton being heels but clashing against each other. Who's going to get the pin to look better? And this, that, cool, whatever. MVP, talking guy, can cut a heel promo, can cut a face promo. Awesome. Good promo guy. Perfect guy for Bobby Lashley because Bobby Lashley isn't the greatest promo guy in the world. We know that.
Yep.
But I think Bobby Lashley just needs to be the Destroyer. And I think that's what it is. He doesn't need to be a face. He doesn't need to slap hands. He doesn't need to get booed. No. He needs to go out there. He needs to spear people. He needs to hit them with the power slam. He needs to just basically rip them in half. And a guy who is really good at getting thrown around and being destroyed and making people look like $1 million is AJ Styles.
No, he really
is. Great seller.
It's all value in that. For that.
So you could put Drew against basically anyone. You could put him in the Sheamus thing. You could have Braun Strowman against Drew McIntyre and have Drew rip through the guy that, oh, we both beat Goldberg. Here's a similar storyline. Who beat him better? I don't really care. It makes Drew McIntyre look good. They have a 7 to 10 minute match. Drew does most of the damage. Everybody goes home happy. And I think that's the thing that at this point we get to the bigger picture, which is eventually Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. But I don't think 5 weeks is enough time to make that match as meaningful as it needs to be.
Make it make sense. SummerSlam is the way to go.
I'll say this, just I guess I don't know if it's going to be in closing or what, but I'll say this. When it comes to the whole idea of like Lashley, is he a tweener? What is he right now? I think that, like Mike was saying, he's just an ass kicker. And the thing is that usually comes off as heelish because, you're destroying like the littler guys and stuff like that. You're the big, powerful dude. It tends to come off as you're a badass, which usually is like you're a heel. Unless you're like an over-the-top face. Like, look, Hogan was like that, except he also like petted babies on the head and tried to take their hair. So, like, he got to be a good guy because of that. But Lashley obviously isn't out there doing that, nor should he be. I do think, though, that the reason why Lashley in particular will end up looking more like a tweener in this, maybe even looking like a face in this, is he's only the third man ever to hold the African-American man to hold the WWE Championship. He's the only one in a long time. Like, you had Kofi a few years ago. Now you have Lashley. It's like the same thing when we were talking about Ron Simmons last week. How, like, Ron Simmons was this big, powerful first African-American world champion. He was the chance for a lot of kids to look and say, oh, wow, someone who looks like me is the champion, can get there. I love Drew. I love Drew McIntyre. There are no kids that were looking at Drew McIntyre and being like, oh my God, I've never seen anyone like myself be able to do this before. Lashley is that guy. Lashley is that guy, and that's why he's a great guy to have as your champion. Like, honestly, I want to see Lashley hold the title for a long time. Like, let Randy win it for 2 weeks in between. We like to do that. But otherwise, keep Lashley with the belt. If he holds it till, like, Survivor Series, I'll be a happy boy.
By the way, in closing, real quick, I was this week years old when I found out he was 44.
Yeah.
He's 44.
He looks good.
The last thing I'm going to say, and then we can move on. I feel like this was one of those when we talked a couple months ago, and we talked about when the New Day broke up, and I thought E was going to be that guy that was going to get the push into the title picture. I feel like it's almost like they took that, and they were like, let's put Bob on the Raw side because we have a decent SmackDown philosophy now that Roman's back. It almost seems like it just shifted from person to person.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a slight against E because, I'm one of the biggest Big E supporters, and I think I've made that publicly known on this show.
Watch that doc, man. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Listeners, watch that documentary. Amazing.
So, and you can see that guy's put the work in. There's a lot of guys that come up and, they're athletes or they're just talented in ring or they get he put the work in, and that's a guy, I hope he doesn't go the 11-year route that Kofi went before he gets his, because he deserves to be a world champion sooner rather than later for what he does. So in closing, I think it's almost like I feel like they almost just were like, let's keep that on Roman. Let's use that storyline over on Raw because we ain't got a real great storyline going on Raw except for Drew McIntyre.
Well, that, and then I think also Bobby's a little older. Well, a lot older, about almost 10 years, in fact. So maybe that Big E will get his. I'm not even worried about that. Big E will get his at some point.
I think so as well. I just hope it's not the 11 years that his teammate had to wait.
Right. Yeah. All right. Next topic. All right. It's Joe's topic, but since Joe just refuses to read down the card of AEW Revolution because he's talent.
I just don't like doing the rules.
Yeah. So Mike will run down
the
card. We're going to preview and predict tomorrow night, or tonight's rather, AEW Revolution pay-per-view.
Okay, wait. But this is my topic, so I am going to control the conversation in this one way. Before we start running down the card...
Wait, you're the puppet now?
Huh?
You're the puppet of this topic?
Yeah, it's like that NSYNC video. It's like it's going to be me, like...
Yeah.
So,
That's going viral, by the way.
Obviously.
That's fine.
All of us,
So-
those robots.
I'm gonna start this topic like this. Let's cut the BS. Let's get to the part of the conversation that's gonna be the most interesting part. Let's talk about the mystery guy.
Oh,
That's
you're doing it already. You're doing it already. Look at you.
Honestly, half the reason why I'm willing to even have this conversation, half the reason why I'm even ordering the pay-per-view is because let's find out who the fuck it is. There's so many different options of it, who it could be. I can give you like a top 3 picks personally that I would go with, or we can analyze all the different ones as possibilities. I personally think there's a real chance that Big Show just turns around and it's his first AEW heel turn, and he just signs the contract, and he's like, "Yeah, bitches, I belong in the Hall of Fame." Like, I can see that happening as a thing. I'm just putting that out there. But obviously, we all know who the talk is. Let's go right to it. Ernest, who do you think it is?
I think it's RVD.
Okay, and why?
Because it makes most sense. And my buddy Danny Thompson, shout out Danny Thompson, on my podcast Thursday said so, and it made sense. So I was like, okay, cool. Because I thought it was be Christian, but isn't Edge and Christian have a show currently on WWE Network? That's
No, they haven't
on?
had.
They haven't had the show on the network in over a year.
They've been
Yeah,
promoting
they
it
haven't
though.
had a
They've
new
been promoting
episode
it recently though.
in it.
But they promoted recently on one of the ads. So maybe
I mean, they're just trying to probably get things back to the network at this point.
They still promote Legends House, like.
Right.
Yeah, and I think
literally not with us anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
RVD.
Okay, Mike.
Ernest is. I'm gonna go a little different, and I talked about it. And Joe, I know you're not the biggest fan of it. My prediction for who I think it's going to be, not who I want it to be. We'll get to who I want it to be. Who I think it'd be. I think it's going to be a former multi-time tag team champion, a former Impact World Champion. I think it's going to be Bully Ray.
Interesting. You know, you're like the third person I heard say that too.
Him and LaGreca talk about AEW a lot on the show.
Mm-hmm.
They're very. I'm not saying they're very opinionated about AEW. They do talk about it, but they don't hold back any punches. So you're not getting the Meltzer rose-colored glasses. Like, if something sucks, Bully will be the first one to call him out.
The best. He's the best.
And I think that's a thing that could be really good for them. It could be something. I know there was something teased on Facebook, on Twitter today, of Kurt Angle. Putting something on Twitter of
I saw that too.
Flexing and putting. Yeah. I love Kurt to death. I think Kurt is trolling the shit out of everyone, just like I think Pat McAfee's trolling the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
Just like I think there's multiple people out there that like, oh, it's going to be me. There have been names that have come out and flat out said no, which I know we'll talk about once Joe gives his prediction. So I don't want to spoil that too much. So I'll let Joe go, and then we'll hop back into the people that we know have said no, that may be pulling the wool over our eyes, and then maybe who we wish it was. So Joe, I'll let you hop back in here since this is your portion.
So that's an interesting distinction that you're making there between like who you wish it was versus who you think it's going to be. I guess if we're predicting who we think it's going to be right now, and here's the funny thing, just to comment about Bully Ray, I wouldn't be mad at Bully Ray showing up in AEW. I like Bully Ray as a talent. He's got a lot of backstage experience. He'd be a really good person to have in that locker room. He's a great talent. He's great in the ring. Like he would add.
He'd be really good also to come in and not to be the legend, but to be a mentor of sort to Devon's sons who wrestle in the company.
No, is that right?
That's a good point.
There's so many pros with him that I like it, but then they overpromise. This isn't how you bring in a Bully Ray. It's not even how you bring in an RVD, frankly. Like, you don't stand there and you say, look, former world champion, potential Hall of Famer. Like, yes, all those things are true about Bully Ray. All those things are true about RVD. But you and I and Ernest and even Jackson knows when you start making promises like that as a wrestling company, people are thinking Hulk fucking Hogan. People are thinking CM Punk. people are thinking Brock Lesnar. If you give people Bully Ray when they thought they were getting Brock Lesnar, you've just set yourself up to be a fucking laughingstock on Twitter and Facebook and everything. Like, honestly, it reminds me of the days, and I know I've made reference to this on this show before, but never on video. It reminds me of the days when Ring of Honor would be like, we have a big announcement this Tuesday, 8 p.m. Make sure you're by your computers. And we would be. And the big announcement, 20% off all DVDs. 24-hour sale. When we were all like, oh my God, Bryan Danielson's returning. Fucking, they're signing someone big. Some shit's going to happen. And it was a sale.
Or they announced they were running like a B show in like Manassas, Virginia on Friday, June 3rd.
Right. And don't get me wrong. I love Manassas. But
I've been to a couple shows in Manassas.
Yes, I've been in Manassas very times. Many.
Oh God, why, Joe? You set him up for that shit, Mike.
Did you not think that there was a reason why I used Manassas, Virginia?
Manassas.
I mean, I went.
I lived. So listen.
I used to live in Virginia. I went to the Ring of Honor shows in Manassas because it was 15 minutes from my house. Trust me, there's a reason why I used Manassas, Virginia. Trust me, I know what I'm doing here.
Sense. Yes.
But like,
continue.
So that's my thing. Is like they've overpromised. It feels like they've set up a very unrealistic expectation, and I'll tell you my unrealistic expectation after. But if I'm gonna make just the general who it will be guess, you know, I'm still going with Brock Lesnar. I still think, and he is actually delivering on a promise. He's a big enough name to deliver. And I know, Mike, you were saying that he might be stuck in Canada, but they never said he was showing up in person at the pay-per-view, I don't think. They said he was signing a contract on the pay-per-view. That could be done via video, via satellite, you know, with
Zoom.
him at home in Canada.
Skype.
Sable can fucking bring it out. He can just sign it on her tits. Like, that is right there. You want to go viral? There's viral for you. Tony Khan's been wanting Sable, like, in a 15-foot radius of him since he was, like, 16. Let's be honest.
Facts.
Right?
That's facts.
So, I think that there's potential for Brock to still be the person. I mean, I've seen online people saying how all his merchandise is gone from WWE's website. I've also seen people point out that it's been gone since he, like, didn't re-sign a contract about a year ago. I don't know how true that is, but apparently it's not there now. He's either going to UFC or he's going to AEW. I don't see him going back to UFC.
I don't think he can pass a drug test right now to go back to the UFC.
Right. And look, at the end of the day, if anyone's got the money to actually get Brock Lesnar, Tony Khan's got the money to get Brock Lesnar. Like, this isn't like us trying to figure out, Ring of Honor's announcing someone's coming in and guessing Brock Lesnar and like, no, you're full of shit. That's never happening in a million years. He got Sting. Motherfucker got Sting. He can get Brock Lesnar. All I'm saying.
What about Ted DiBiase?
Everybody's got a price.
Ted DiBiase?
Maybe he's the
Everybody's got a price.
Oh my God. Now, if we had to actually guess just like our like totally out there, could be anyone prediction, they never said it was a wrestling Hall of Fame that this guy was worthy of being in. They never said he was a former wrestling world champion. And I think personally, if you're going to break the internet when it comes to a signing like this, it needs to be someone from another world. Usually MMA, let's be honest. Look at the kind of reaction Rousey got when she showed up in WWE. Look at how Brock got the reaction when he showed back up in WWE. And the reaction that he would get showing up in AEW. So if you want a really out there prediction...
It better not be Cain Velasquez. I'm going to fucking throw something on my TV.
Oh my God.
I swear to God. Better not.
Conor McGregor. I'm Conor fucking McGregor.
That's not bad, actually. That's not a bad one.
I wouldn't hate it. And it would honestly get everybody talking. And he lost his last fight, and let's be honest, they usually lose their last fights, become a little humble, show up in wrestling like a year later. So, you know, he's kind of doing it a little quicker, but isn't that a Conor McGregor thing to do?
Right.
I mean, if it happens, I said it, I don't know if I said it first, but I said it here.
What's it first?
What?
We'll give it to you.
I'll take it. I will take it. Yeah. That's what they said.
All right, let's do it, man.
All right, who I hope it is going to be a little different. They talked about the the door being open. I want to kick the door in. This gentleman lost last night in Japan in the New Japan Cup to Shingo Takagi. Give me the Rainmaker. Give me Kazuchika Okada. Give me Kenny versus Okada in the United States. Give it to me. That's what I want. You want to make an impact? How do you make an impact? You go out and you get the guy. You get the guy that this company's basically been built behind. You go give me the Rainmaker. You go give me the best bout machine. You get Kenny away from this stupid-ass fucking heel gimmick with the fucking Don Callis. Give me the cleaner. He's so corny. He's worse than 1990s WWF heel wrestlers. It's awful.
No, yeah, it's like I was saying about a week ago. Whenever we were talking about the Revolution, I think we were talking about it last week also, or the week before.
Yes.
He is playing an anime villain, and that doesn't work in pro wrestling. It just doesn't. Like, I love the guy. I think he's a great wrestler. I even like when he's silly. I've liked his, like, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla stuff. I've liked his, like, being the elite stuff. I'm in with all of that. But it doesn't work when you're the head of the company and you're the number one villain. Like, you can't be Hans Gruber. This isn't Die Hard. This has to be some level of, like not so over the top. There has to be some level of reality to it.
I mean, the reality of the situation is, honestly, if it's not Okada, and you tell me it's Punk, and they found a way to get Punk, like
you're not gonna be mad at it.
I will scream like a 3-year-old schoolgirl. It is what it is. I mean, you give me that guy, you give me the best in the world back. I mean, don't get me wrong. When he left, he was absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the best in the world.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
So you have a feud built off. The best in the world versus the best bout machine. You could go right forward if you wanted to. Or you can let Punk come in and do whatever the hell Punk wants. You can let Punk take over for JR in commentary, and CM Punk may never wrestle.
That's very true. That's very true.
I'm saying, picture this, okay? Sicily, 1929. No. Tomorrow we're in fucking Jacksonville. The match ends. The fucking barbed wire, flying heads on a pole match, whatever the fuck, is over. Omega's standing there, bleeding. His hair's on fire, whatever the fuck, holding the belt. Don Callis is next to him and is like, this man is the best wrestler in the world. And then fucking Cult of Personality starts playing because, you know, Tony Khan has that kind of money. Yep. And fucking Color Me Bad walks out on stage. Tony Khan has that kind of money. And they fucking just play Punk out, and he's like, I'm sorry.
You mean Living Color?
Say best in the world? Like, that would be the coolest moment in pro wrestling. It's not going to be as cool as when RVD does it, but that could be such a cool moment if we got that. I would mark out like a school child also. Like I really would.
I mean,
for correction's sake, it's in Living Color, not Color Me Bad.
Well, okay, thank you.
Big difference.
I look at it from the standpoint of they have a shot right now, and here's the thing: NXT is going to Tuesday nights or Thursday nights. I don't remember what night it is.
Tuesday nights. Good for us, by the way.
Okay. The AEW war, the NXT war, it wasn't a war. I don't think anyone is upset that you're not going to be able to watch all the shows at one time live if you really want to. USA and Viacom and NBC, they booked themselves into a corner here with closing the NBC Sports Network. They have a multi. I was gonna say,
it's not like NXT lost to AEW. If anything, NXT lost to the NHL.
I'm saying they have a multi-billion dollar contract with the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna pick them over Vince. I'm just saying. I don't know. Hear me out.
Just a guess.
Billion. So here's the thing. You have a shot here to really. You want to hit the home run because you're starting your second show on Monday with the Elevation. You have Dark. You have Dynamite. Tony Khan was on their podcast this week going over Revolution. Mentioned the fact that they may get a show that's an hour-long show on TNT on another day. Maybe like a WCW Saturday night kind of thing. He didn't say Saturday night, but I could see that being a thing. Here's the thing. You have an absolute shot right now to walk it off and hit the grand slam to win the World Series. Don't ground out to the shortstop.
Right.
You have a shot to win it. There's 2 outs in the 9th. You're either going to lift that trophy and you're going to go home with it, or you're going to watch another team celebrate on your field. The choice is yours. RVD is a ground out to the shortstop and you're watching the other team celebrate. You give me Punk. You give me Okada. You give me Brock Lesnar. You give me John Cena. Give me someone. And you can go celebrate. Give me Rob Van Dam. You're going to want us wanting more, and you're not going to be able to fucking cash that check.
Yep.
All I'm going to say is this to all wrestling fans out there. Just temper your expectations. Temper it. Because Tony Khan is... Look, if I had to put money on this, he's not going to... He's right now, he's over-delivering.
But you shouldn't over-deliver then. Like, that is the worst thing.
He's trying to sell... His job is to sell pay-per-view buys at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you also got to sell future pay-per-view buys. And if you overpromise and underdeliver, then guess what? The next time you do that, people are like, fuck you. Like,
we'll
find out 24 hours.
Double or Nothing is their next pay-per-view. It's in Vegas. It's not going to be in the friendly confines. It's not going to be in the friendly confines of Jacksonville.
And it's going to potentially be able to have a lot of fans, possibly, depending on
where. You could again, you could hit the home run, or you could ground out and end the ball game. It's up to you, Tony. I mean, swing for the fences, dude. Swing for them. Put all the money you can at Punk and Okada and those guys. Swing for it, because what's the worst they can tell you? No.
Here's a good question: would Paul White have been a good?
No.
Okay. No, he would have been an RVD, Bully Ray level, right. like, oh, nice surprise, but not the promise that he made.
The promise they're making, this has like a 6-person radius.
It's Brock, it's Punk, it's who else? It's Okada,
Cena,
yes, Batista possibly.
No,
it's Kurt Angle.
I think Angle falls into the RVD camp. I think Angle's a little bit of a disappointment. Only because of his last WWE run. Like you said, I love Angle. I love him. He does not look like he should still be wrestling. And it's been a few years since his match with Corbin at Mania. He has technically, it's possible he's gone back into better shape. It's possible he's doing it again. But you know what? Like, I've listened to his podcast. He talked about on the podcast how broken down he was, how much he felt like he wasn't the Kurt Angle that he wanted to be. That wasn't on WWE. Like, yes, their booking sucked with him. I will give him that 100%. God awful. Completely awful. But it wasn't on them that he also couldn't deliver in the ring. That was on him and on his history. I don't mean to sound that in a negative way. I don't mean that to be like, oh, it's on him, like he wasn't prepared, he wasn't ready. It's on him because, like, he's the age that he is. He's had the career that he's had. He's lived the life that he's had. He's had a broken neck. He made the
choices to not get himself healed properly, to do a quick fix in 2003 that put him further behind the 8 ball.
Which is exactly like, this is what ends up happening at the end of the day. Then when you want to still be able to have a career at the age of like 45, 46, like, you know what? AJ Styles has never been injured to the level that a guy like Kurt Angle has been injured.
Neither's Bobby Lashley.
Right. Same with like Randy Orton. Like all these guys that you see that are still doing it into their careers. Wait, when has Jericho ever been gone from like a completely like potentially career-ending injury? He's had injuries. Everyone gets injured. It's wrestling. People get injured. But he's never been gone to a point where it was like, oh, wow, we may never see Jericho again. There have been multiple times where it was like, oh, wow, we may never see Angle again, you know? Just like with Shawn Michaels, when he was injured. Like, we thought we were never seeing him again. Then he came back and had a great career. He also never got injured again to that level.
He also lost his smile, too, just for the record.
Huh?
He also lost his smile, just for the record.
Well,
you know.
I mean, you know. Maybe Tony Khan will find it.
Can we talk about, though, before we move on to the actual card?
Sure.
I hope, Tony, you're probably not watching this, and you probably don't have anyone that is, and that's fine.
I'll call him up.
Please do.
You know, to be fair, he is apparently just an internet wrestling fan. Like, as rich as he was this rich when he was 16 and was still just a guy on Angel Fire. So
let's put the energy out there. Hopefully, we get an endorsement.
There you go.
We'll see. I just hope that they don't do something. And a name that's been floating on the internet, and I don't know if the world is ready for this one yet, and that's Marty. Like I love
Marty Scurll.
I love Marty in ring. Marty's one of the best in ring guys, but we can't overlook the situation.
We're not there.
I don't think we're there. I don't think we as a culture are there yet. I don't think we as
there.
I mentioned a couple days ago on our text, and you guys said no, too soon.
And that's the thing. And as a wrestling podcast, we kind of have to address, that's a possibility. And it's one of those where it's like, I hope it's not Marty, and it's not an offense to Marty, the professional wrestler, but Marty, the person. I don't know if the world is ready to have in that spotlight, and that's that's Marty the human being, not Marty the wrestler. Because Marty the wrestler, I would love to see Marty there with those guys. But after what happened, I don't think that, I don't think any of us are ready. And I don't think we need to be ready for that.
So here's the thing. I'm going to make this argument, okay? And this might sound, I might go a little overboard, maybe. We'll see.
Nothing new we've never heard before.
So the whole Chris Benoit argument, when it's like there's some people who aren't comfortable watching his matches and stuff because of everything that happened. I get it. I'm not one of those people. I can watch Chris Benoit matches and stuff like that. I can talk about him. Mm-hmm. I can talk about him as a wrestler. I can talk about his career. I'm okay with all of that. Enough time has passed. I have my opinions on him as a human being for everything that happened, but I don't talk about that stuff. That stuff doesn't matter to me. The way that as a wrestling fan, I care about his wrestling career, I can talk about that. If Chris Benoit had killed his wife and son and stayed alive, he never would have been able to wrestle again. Like I wouldn't want to be able to see him wrestle again going forward. That's it. Like once that happened, there's no future, but like the stuff from the past is the stuff from the past. Obviously, this is a different situation, sort of, but it's reprehensible. What Marty Scurll did is reprehensible. Might not even been illegal because of like technicalities. Reprehensible. That's the key word here. Okay, I'm okay with not like erasing him from existence in the past. I'm okay with going back and watching a show he was on. Yada yada yada. I never want to see him work again. I feel the same way about Velveteen Dream. Every time he shows up on NXT, I fucking it drives me crazy. I don't need to see these guys going further. I was the biggest Marty Scurll fan. I love that guy. I've been dying to see him show up in AEW. After everything that's happened, I don't want him to show up in AEW. That would be one of the biggest mistakes.
Okay.
Well, the only reason why I think it's I don't think it's gonna be Marty is because of what happened with the whole Joey Ryan AEW talent getting pulled from that charity show. If Tony's willing to pull him from a show that Joey Ryan's on, and I know Joey Ryan's situation's a lot worse than Marty Scurll's is, because Joey has been adamant that he's innocent. Marty looked up and said, "Hey, I did this. My situation, while it's legal in England and stuff like that, Marty hasn't hidden from any of it.
No,
he's kind of come out and said, I did this. This is the situation that I was involved in. Here's the information. Do with it what you want. Judge me, don't judge me, whatever you want to do." As Joe shows us some pictures of a bear and a log. So Marty's situation is a little bit different than Joey's, but based off of the way that Tony handled that situation this week, I just think it's like a slam dunk that you're not going to see Marty, at least not for the foreseeable future, based off of that. I just like, if they're going to bring Marty in and that's like, they make that decision, like more power to them, but don't use this major champion, future Hall of Famer, because there's a lot of fans that are going to be very, very, very bad taste in their mouth that's your build up for Marty Scurll.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Matches. We could just.
All right.
Just do it.
All right. Let's go. Pre-show match. Riho Thunder Rosa versus Dr. Britt Baker, DM, DS, 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 DM, 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 DS, WebMD, and Rebel note here, it was talked about by Tony Khan on the Revolution preview show. Rebel has a injury and may be replaced if she can get a doctor's note. So we may have somebody filling in for her to team with Britt Baker.
Fire the laser, number 1.
Fire the laser.
Number 2.
So
Why the fuck is Britt Baker on the buy-in and on the main card?
Because they only have one women's match on the main show, and it's for the title.
But she should be in that match. Let's be honest.
She should have won that tournament, but for some reason,
Really designed for her to win. I don't understand.
I think they're trying to keep us thirsty.
if it wasn't built for her to win, the only other person that would have been a serviceable thing got hurt, and that was Anna Jay with the Dark Order. She's the only other person I would have accepted to win that tournament because it would have made perfect sense for her to win it and then beat Sheeta as a tribute to Brody, and then she could have dropped the title at Double or Nothing to whoever. I really wouldn't have given a shit from there. I think
Britt Baker will be the champion by summertime.
Britt Baker will win the title at Double or Nothing after Sheeta defeats Ryu Misha Toyota.
I don't know. The
Mitsubishi
way
Toyota.
this company's making me feel, I don't think Britt Baker's ever actually getting the title because she deserves it.
That's true. All right, so Thunder Rosa and Rio versus Baker and Rebel. If Rebel doesn't go, who do you think takes her place? Nyla Rose?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Maybe.
I mean, what other heel do you have on the women's side that makes sense?
None.
Jade Cargill? No, she just had a big match on Wednesday night show.
By the
Guys,
way,
and there's
not bad. Jade in Red Velvet, not bad.
She looked like the female Scott Steiner.
No, I'm talking about
I
in the
don't
ring.
know
I'm talking about
that
in the ring.
that's
I'm saying in the ring.
She's
Not
got
bad.
No, I'm saying in the ring also. Did somebody throw something at you?
No, Jackson brought his toys over here and literally just pulled the piece of paper that has the brackets on them, and everything just went flying. And I was
It's so
like,
funny. Real quick,
"Whoa!"
it's so
I
funny
thought
because
Charles
like
Barkley broke in and threw something at you.
no, it's
Just
funny
we talked
because
about
like
Jade.
when
Golf shot.
that match obviously was centered around Shaq and Cody, I was more interested in seeing the women see, okay, could these girls be hopefully the future of this company, going forward?
This Jade Cargill thing was supposed to eventually lead to Brandy, and then Brandy got pregnant. So I think they're literally trying to figure out a way to figure this out until they can get Brandy or something, or figure out what they're going to do with Jade, because they signed Jade, I think, for that match, and I think that match was going to be built to get Brandy over. And everything had to stop once she got pregnant. So I think that's something that has to also be taken with a grain of salt there. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying
they're in a bad spot.
I'm just saying for the AEW women, what they showed on Wednesday was not that bad comparison to what they have.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's got potential as a star, but
she'll get the AEW women's title before Britt Baker.
I would buy that.
Piss off,
I
Joe.
would buy that.
Just the way that they're booking her, I think that she could be the one that just dethrones Sheeta at Double or Nothing.
Let's real quick, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. But
she goes 5-0 and just rips through the women's division and wins the title at Double or Nothing.
You got a kiddo, mate.
Look at it.
We got
honestly,
company. We got company. Keep talking.
Look at it really, really simply, right? At the end of the day, Britt Baker should be the most over woman in the company. Usually is on Dark. This woman has been in the company for a cup of coffee and has already been in a match that involved one of literally the VPs of the company, the girl who's playing the part of his wife because his real wife is pregnant, and Shaquille O'Neal. If this is strapping the rocket ship to somebody, I don't know what is. Maybe I need to Urban Dictionary that shit if I'm not understanding it. But I'm pretty sure this is them trying to turn her into a huge star. So I buy it that she'll be champion before Britt Baker would be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'm picking Britt Baker's team win. So there you go. Boom.
I mean, I hope Britt Baker's team wins, but I mean, I could see this really going either way, and I could see this being something that
What are you doing, Michael?
My phone's gonna die, so I'm trying to find the cord so I can charge it real quick
Ooh.
while we're on this.
That'd be a problem.
No.
By the way,
I have a lamp that charges it, so we're gonna be just fine.
Ooh. By the way, in case you guys didn't know, Britt Baker's a dentist.
She's also Adam Cole's
Dating
girlfriend.
Adam Cole.
Yeah, baby.
They may have a baby soon. I think
Shoot.
maybe, I don't know.
One day, babe.
What?
Oh shit!
What do we got
My
for the
camera
next
just-
All right, let's
match?
get to the main. Let's get to the main card, man.
All right, hold on.
Rio. Hi, Rio.
Not Rio.
Let's talk about that well-built-up feud between Jurassic Express and FTR that's having a match on the pay-per-view, right? Right?
And it's gone.
Damn.
All right, let's really get into it. Let's sink our teeth into it. Main show, first match. Want to go over Casino Tag Team Battle Royale. The teams that have been announced for this are Bear Country. Representing the Dark Order, you have the recruitment specialist, John Silver and Alex Reynolds. You have Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. The Inner Circle's team of Pride and Powerful of Santana and Ortiz. You have the Butcher, the Blade, the Candlestick Maker. Private Party. Representing the faction Death Triangle, you have Pac and Ray Phoenix. The Seidel brothers. You also have 5 and 10 from the Dark Order. The Gun Club. The Pretty Picture of Cesar Bonani and Pretty Peter Avalon. SoCal Uncensored, Daniels and Kazarian as Scorpio Sky is in the Face of the Revolution ladder match. The Natural Nightmares of Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall. The Varsity Blondes of Brian Pillman and Griff Garrison. And Jurassic Express of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Noticeably not on that little area there. FTR?
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, unless they're like, fuck it, we're the number 1 contenders and you're going to have to win that to then, face us. But it says it's for a future AEW tag title match. I think that reality here, I'm going to start with this one. If it's not Pride and Powerful leading to a interfaction explosion, Inner Circle explosion, then I'm good. Like, I don't care who wins if it's not them. Maybe Death Triangle just because Pac and Ray Phoenix are going to have a good match with whomever the tag team champions are. But if it doesn't lead to an Inner Circle blow up, then I don't know where we're going.
I think it's gonna end up being Jurassic Express. I mean, they are 48,000-0 on Dark, so it's about time they got their title match.
But they're 0-1 in a trios against FTR and Tully Blanchard.
That doesn't matter. They're 48,001 on Dark. That's all that matters.
Jesus.
I'll take SCU just cause whatever.
Just
You
I
would
don't
take
know.
that.
It's a Battle Royal, dude. I don't fucking anyway.
Why is
I'm-
this not on the pre-show?
Thank
And
you.
the women's match on the main show. That should be the way it is.
Every other casino battle royale has been on the pre-show. That's why
That's
I'm
what I'm
very.
Saying.
That's why I feel like this has to be something big. This has to be something like something crazy is going to happen in this thing.
Brock
Top
Lesnar.
Flight not in it.
I did not hear anything about Top Flight. I know the Acclaimed isn't because the one guy's hurt
Right.
and the one guy's in the Face of the Revolution. But you could always see a couple teams get added to this thing tomorrow. You could see
True.
Top Flight get put in. You could see like how they always did the wild card. You could see a random tag team that we haven't seen get in there. Put the Good Brothers in there, and then the Young Bucks retain, and then we get the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, anything's a possibility because we don't know exactly if these are all the set teams that are in the match. Based off of the teams that have been announced, the teams that make the most sense would be the Inner Circle, and then maybe from a standpoint of the Jurassic Express, because we don't have the Revival in there or FTR.
That's true.
Next up, tag match. It is Miro and Superbad Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford against the best friends of Orange Cassidy and Chucky T, as Trent is still on the sideline. I think Tony Khan realized how terrible this Charles Taylor gimmick
Storyline.
was,
Butler.
and thank God he fucking punted that faster than you could say Mylantha.
Yeah.
This is bad. I hate this feud. And I'm sorry. Rusev, it's not working. I liked him in WWE. I thought that there was potential there for him to actually be a main event star. I don't even know that it's his fault. I think that they could have brought him in a way where he could have been a main event star. Instead, they brought him in like he was on the cast of fucking Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and it's only gotten worse from there. I'm so good on
Right.
Miro and all of that.
Yeah, it's a disappointment, to be honest with you, this whole run so far. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to Miro kicking Kip Sabian's face off and just going full-fledged like super heel and going back to being like somebody said his Russian sleeper cell word and he just turned him into a fucking like cyborg or something.
The Winter Soldier.
Yeah, like I'm cool with it, dude. Just give me the code.
That would be such a better gimmick. Oh my god.
I mean it would. And perfect shot to do it would be this pay-per-view or maybe a Double or Nothing. Get him back to being that ass-kicking heel and let him go out there and just kick people in the face. You know, make him Bobby Lashley, but like the Russian version on AEW instead of Raw. Little shorter. He's got to be
the title picture now. I mean, it's got to be him in the title picture in discussion.
They're getting awfully close to being at the point where he's not going to be able to be saved.
No, I mean,
at this point, get him out of there.
Put him in the TNT title picture. Don't put him in the main title picture right now because he's just going to get his ass kicked by Kenny Omega. Let's be real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go next up to. Or does anyone make a prediction on this? Since we didn't really, I think it's going to be the best friends. Because
I think Miro and Sabian are going to win.
Ernest.
I'm here. Keep going. I got a little situation here. Keep going.
Oh, I was seeing if you had a prediction. Obviously, your prediction is.
Oh no, I got Kip Sabian and Miro.
All right, your prediction is your prediction is sleep. All right, moving on.
Hold on.
For the AEW Women's World Title, it is the champion Hikaru Shida versus the winner of the AEW Eliminator Tournament, Ryo Mizunami. Mizunami went through Makia Ito, Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and then Nyla Rose on Wednesday night. Quick turnaround for the winner of the tournament, as she then now has to face Hikaru Shida some 5 days later. I don't think that there's a way that we can get the title off of Shida into Nakazawa that makes sense. No. Based off the fact that she is in Japan.
Wait, like literally?
No. Like she lives in Japan.
Oh, okay. But she's here for the pay-per-view, right? We're having
correct.
That. Okay.
Correct, because she was here Wednesday. Obviously she's been here for however long, had to go through quarantine, testing, all that stuff. But I don't think you're going to put yourself into a spot where you put the title on her. If you were going to do that with a Japanese talent, I mean, I thought it would have been Ryo, unless you're going to have her win the title and then lose it on Wednesday night at Dynamite or something like that, or she's staying over for like a 3-month tour or whatever it is. I just don't think it makes sense here. I don't know what they're doing with Shida. When they first gave her the title, I was super confused. I was like, what? And then there was like a little bit of clarity where they're like, hey, we're gonna make her like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with like the kendo stick, and I was like, oh, cool. And then now she's wearing like a 3-piece suit and like attacking the winner of a tournament like when she's getting her trophy. I don't get it.
I don't either, and I think the truth is they don't know what they're doing with it.
What are we doing, guys? Can we figure this out, please?
Right. And the bad part is, like you said, like this felt like it could be the perfect moment to finally get the belt off of her and maybe move on to the next thing. Almost against anybody. Could have been Nyla, could have been Ryo, should have been Britt. You had plenty of options. You've put her in a match against someone that has 0.0% chance of winning the belt. So I mean, even the experiment's going to continue. I don't get it either.
I mean, you could have put Tainara Conti in there, and at least it'd have been fresh.
Anything would have been fresh and would have made sense, but like they literally put her against someone that you just know is not going to win the belt. And if she does win the belt, I don't know that it's really that fresh because, like, yeah, great. You got it off of one Japanese woman to put it on another one that still has no character that none of us, know anything about.
Factual. Like, I hope they have a great in-ring match because the build-up to the match has been jello.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Ernest is still away, as you can tell by the black screen. We're going to move on. Big money match. Winner receives the loser's 2021 first quarter earnings. It is big money Matt Hardy. Hangman Adam Page. God, this thing is like
it's so bad. I can't believe this is a real match.
I feel incredibly sorry for Adam Hangman Page because this guy should literally be in the main event of every AEW show for the last year, and now he's in a meaningless match with Matt Hardy.
Like, I would have rather have seen them, again, follow through with, like, the storyline they've been building all this time. That makes sense. Have him in a 6-man. Have him in there with Reynolds and fucking John Silver against somebody, you know, against the Inner Circle, against the Elite. Put him against the Good Brothers and somebody. I don't care. You could have made something work. This is bullshit. I have 0.00% interest in seeing, first of all, Big Money Matt Hardy. I hate the gimmick. I'm not a fan of the work. I'm just not. But, like, on top of that, like, I don't know. I just don't need this match. And this is a storyline that they literally, this is that thing that drives me crazy with wrestling companies sometimes. And I get it. I've never booked a wrestling company. I'm not a professional. I know that it can't be as simple as it seems to us. I get that. But at the end of the day, for years and years and years, we have, excuse me, sorry. We have seen wrestling companies put together feuds and storylines that last months and then go someplace that start in November and end with a match at WrestleMania. And you feel like, oh, wow, I was invested in that. I got something good out of that. That's great. It's awesome. And then you get these things where it's like, oh, the pay-per-view's in 2 weeks. Yeah, you've been feuding with these guys, but we're going to put you in a match with this guy instead, and we're going to make a storyline happen. Mm-hmm. That's what this is, and I hate it. And it's just, and it's not even like a dream match. Like, this isn't anyone's idea of like a good match, in my opinion. I'm just not with it. So, I mean, I hope Hangman Page wins, because honestly, like he deserves better. So the least he can do is get a win here.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. I think Hangman has to win here.
Yeah.
I think it makes the most sense, and then you get Hangman on to whatever's next for him. Which if it's Kenny at Double or Nothing, then it's Kenny at Double or Nothing. And
right, whatever it is.
I'm okay with that. But I mean, I think what's next for Adam Hangman Page is, and I said this to you privately. I may have said it on the show too. The best thing for Adam Hangman Page is to be a honorary member of the Dark Order and use those guys as like his help to keep Gallows and Anderson at bay and stuff like that. Like, not be a full member of the Dark Order with the hand gesture and all that.
Right.
Like Page was in the Elite. He doesn't need to be in another group. But if Silver and Reynolds and 5 and 10 and -1 and those guys want to be supportive of Page and help him keep the villains at bay, like, I would be okay with him being like an honorary member of the Dark Order. I think it would make sense. I think it'd be a cool thing for them, especially because one of the last things that Brody, really did before the feud with Cody was like tried to get Page to join the Dark Order in the ring at Dynamite, and it's one of those things where it's like, if we didn't lose Brody, I think Brody would have himself an AEW title match sooner rather than later. And I think that's something here where we have a shot to really cap the Dark Order off and do it in a fun way. And I think Adam Page winning the AEW World Title and having members of the Dark Order out there to help him is something that would be a nice little tribute there at the end. And I think that's something that we may be building to. And I think it'd just be fun to see, Silver and Reynolds doing the pose down and all that fun stuff they do as they come out from the ring. But yeah, I think Adam wins here. I think Private Party tries to get involved, and I think we get some Dark Order help here, and I think this is going to be the build of, you may not be purple and black of the Dark Order, but if you need us, we're here.
Right.
I think that's something that will be good for Adam Page. Moving on, I guess let's get to it. AEW World Tag Team Title match. It is Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, taking on the Inner Circle's team of Chris Jericho and Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Papa Buck gets taken out at a Dynamite taping, bloodied up from Jericho and MJF. They have a pull-apart brawl on this week's episode after the press conference that included Conrad Thompson. That was fun.
That was
awesome.
What
did MJF say to Conrad? Chicken tits, what was it?
Shut your mouth, turkey tits.
Turkey tits.
Ernest, smile.
I'm on a camera right now, actually.
Oh.
Well,
I'm actually standing up holding my son.
The funny thing is MJF and Conrad had a war of words on Twitter about a year and a half ago, like right when AEW first started.
Really?
So, yeah, well, I mean, I think it was more of banter because Conrad was at the first press conference that MJF was announced as a talent, and they kind of went back and forth at the press conference. So
By
I
the
think
way,
it's just a continuation of that.
I know I'm a big MJF mark, but God, he's great in promos, dude. He's so good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
I'd put him in the top 5 of AEW.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think what happens earlier in the night with the Casino Battle Royale is going to dictate where this goes.
Ooh.
I think if Ortiz and Santana win, I think you're getting a Chris Jericho MJF win here.
Yes.
To eventually lead to the Inner Circle exploding.
Mm-hmm.
If you get somebody else, I can see the Young Bucks winning, eventually leading to the rematch between them and FTR.
Yeah.
Which I think is another thing that's inevitably going to occur. Which I'm okay with because I think that they're going to have another good match, and I think it's going to be another top tier tag match. So I'm okay with it either way. As for my prediction, I will take the Young Bucks to retain in an all-out fucking brawl.
Yeah, I'm saying I got the Bucks taking this one.
As much as I want MJF and Jericho to win, I just don't see it. Not yet, anyway. So I'll go Bucks also. Avenge Papa Bucks attack.
I think I don't know if we're ready for an MJF Chris Jericho Tag Team Championship run right now.
No.
I think there's some other things that need to get taken care of first before we get to that point. All right, Face of the Revolution ladder match for a AEW TNT title match at a later date, which has now been determined that it's going to be on Wednesday night on Dynamite. Tony Khan announced that on the podcast. Short turnaround for the winner of the ladder match, and a short turnaround for Darby Allin, who's in a street fight, which we'll talk about next. The Face of the Revolution ladder match, it is the American Nightmare Cody with Arn Anderson versus Scorpio Sky, Lance Archer with Jake Roberts, Max Caster, and Penta El Zero Miedo, and another person to be announced. Tony said that the person that is signing the contract will not be the person that's in the ladder match. So I would say here that a ladder match is a strong possibility to have another person debut, and a name that we mentioned and Ernest picked as his guy, and that is Rob Van Dam. I can see RVD being in the Face of the Revolution because he was the face of another revolution in ECW.
Yeah.
So I think RVD fits maybe in the role there of the to be announced. If it's somebody on the roster right now, I could see this being a spot where you bring back Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
As his first thing as a non-member of the Inner Circle. If it's not him, I mean, you're running out of guys on this roster. This roster really isn't all that deep as it is. They got a lot of guys in that tag team battle royale. I don't think you're going to pull anybody from there to put on this into this match. So I mean, you're really running out of bodies.
Do you think the mystery guy is going to be the guy that wins, though, or do you think one of the other ones is taking it? It's a star-studded match.
Personally, I think that Penta's going to win the ladder match to get him. I think that makes a lot of sense. It could even be Lance Archer. I think Lance Archer is a guy that you could have win this match that could help him get over even more with Jake Roberts.
Pick there. That's my pick is Lance Archer.
I'll say this: I don't think Cody comes out of this match as the winner.
Right.
I don't think Max. I don't think Max Caster does either. Honestly, the way that Scorpio Sky was acting on commentary on Wednesday night, I wouldn't be surprised if it's him as a heel. You know, with this, put the camera on me, I look so good, this, that, and the other bullshit that he's doing. Like,
they keep having these weird, like, let's push Scorpio Sky moments that don't last. And I don't know, like, it really could be one of those again. I don't get it. I don't dislike Scorpio Sky, but I mean, like it's one of those things again where it's like, if you're going to do it, just do it. You know, like, that's one of the biggest problems with AEW is, like, they start something and they kind of get like into it and then they pussyfoot back. And then they're just like, we're done with that. You know, like they have SCU looking like this amazing tag team and now they're nobody, you know,
to quote the great Ron Swanson, don't half-ass two things, whole ass one thing. Go whole ass. Fucking push Scorpio Sky. That's what you want to do.
Right.
If it doesn't work, Have him lose it to fucking Darby Allin on Wednesday night. Darby gets a win over another fucking guy that you're pushing to the moon. I mean, you don't have to sit here and not every push is going to end up like Hangman Page. Not every push is going to end up like MJF. Like, you're going to have pushes that you're going to be happy with, but the fans aren't going to like. Guess what? You're a multi-billionaire. You make those decisions. You live with them. You learn from them. You move on from them.
Right.
Stop the stop and start shit, because that's going to turn everybody where it's like, oh, here's another push for this guy, and it's gone.
Right, exactly.
And that's what they're doing with Scorpio
Totally
Sky.
agree with
And
you.
unfortunately, you know what's hurting? It's Scorpio Sky. It's not hurting AEW.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's one of the most
company's
talented
gonna
guys
be
in the
fine
company. You know, it's wasting
The,
time.
the company's going to be fine whether they push him full bore or not, because the company is the company. But the guy that you're never going to believe is going to be able to get over the hump is Scorpio Sky, because they're never going to let him get over the hump.
Like, honestly, look, earlier when we were talking about Bobby Lashley, we were talking about, I said, in my opinion, I think WWE has actually done a pretty decent job of making some new main event stars with guys like Lashley and McIntyre,
Mm-hmm.
AEW has not done it.
Nope.
AEW has not made stars to that level. Like, yeah, Darby Allin's over. Yeah, MJF is over.
Adam
Yeah,
Page,
Jungle
that's about
Boy
it.
is over. Like, you have your handful of guys who were nobody before AEW and who are now arguably, names now in the wrestling industry. Like, at least, most everyday wrestling fans probably know who Darby Allin is now, which wasn't something a year ago before AEW, So I'll give them that credit, but he's not a main eventer. They haven't made any main eventers. They've given us former WWE guys as main eventers. They've given us the guys who we came building into the company as main eventers, who we knew were going to be the main eventers, like Kenny Omega. And like, granted, here again, perfect example. At the beginning, they were like, you know what? We're not going to do this. This is the obvious way. You all think Kenny Omega is going to be the main event guy. You all think Cody's going to be the world champion for the next 2 years. You all think these things. We're not going to give you these things. 6 months later, they realized, oh shit, we probably should have given you those things. Those things made the most sense. Now we've failed at making new stars, and we also didn't build the guys that should have been our stars from the beginning to actually look like stars. And then they reset. And now Kenny Omega is your top guy, and Cody's your top guy, and the Young Bucks are the tag champs. And in 6 months, it's going to be totally different again. And the Elite's going to be losing everything. And Jungle Boy is going to be the world champion. It doesn't work. Like, you pick something, you stick with it, you build it, let's see what happens. You don't start it, like you said, like, you don't start it, and then, like, 3 weeks later when the audience isn't having it, you're just like, you know what, you're right, let's give up on it, because then you're giving up on everything after 3 weeks.
Yep.
I'll take Penta match, just to throw that out there. I will take Penta.
All right, so we both took Penta. Ernest took Lance Archer. All right, let's talk about the street fight. The in-ring return of the man called Sting. He is teaming with the TNT champion Darby Allin to take on Team Taz. Brian Cage and Absolute Ricky Starks will be accompanied by Taz. Obviously, we talked about this match. Obviously, some kind of cinematic, we would think, or recorded over multiple days to try to keep the damage off of Sting from a extended per se, but I could also see this being as live as it gets, because what happens if they wrestle out into the building and there's fans there?
Right.
I mean, or is it going to take place in an actual street?
The one thing I can see potentially too, and like even WWE was doing this when they were still WWF and when pandemics weren't even a thing that people were remotely worried about. Have them start in the ring, have them brawl to the back, pre-tape,
roll the film,
minutes, like like Roddy Piper and Goldust at Mania, like that was, they brawl to the back. All of a sudden, it's a pre-tape thing that they did 2 weeks ago, and then you come back and you have the match finish in the ring. So maybe Sting is actually wrestling live for like 10 minutes tomorrow night, but it's a 25-minute match because there's 15 minutes worth of tape stuff.
We'll know if it's taped because of Sting's face paint.
There you go. We're all going to be looking at the face paint.
Good clue there.
I'm
That's a
ready
good
for
clue.
that.
Yep.
That's something to watch.
All I'm saying is, I know you brought Sting in to put guys over, and that's why he's here. He can't lose his first match. He can't lose his first match here. He can't lose his first match in years. You can't do that. He's not getting people over if he starts off as a loser. Like, yes, I know all his history. I know all of that. But you know what? Like the Mike Tyson return fight recently. There's no point in another Mike Tyson fight if Mike Tyson lost that fight. Like,
Correct.
That's just the end of the day. You want Sting to actually put people over when it matters. He's got to win on this match.
And
He's
don't worry,
got to win
it won't happen.
here, and then let Brian Cage beat him in a couple of months at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like
I won't
that.
worry.
If Sting loses here, you've already blown it.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. He won't lose. I got Darby and Sting winning this one.
Yeah, I do too. Ricky
I like
Starks
the confidence.
takes the fall.
Yeah.
Ricky Starks takes the fall, which really sucks because honestly, one of the guys that they could build to be a top flight heel in this company right now is absolute Ricky Starks. That guy's a freaking machine. He's great on the mic. He's charismatic as fuck. As a straight male, he's fucking one of the most fucking attractive guys in.
He's hot.
I'd argue right now that Taz faction is probably the best faction in AEW right now.
Second.
Yes.
Second.
What's number one?
In AEW?
You said 5.
The Dark Order?
Join the Dark Order.
Right. Okay.
I mean, no offense to Team Taz. I love Team Taz. I think it works perfect. But I mean, they're better than the Inner Circle. They're better than the Elite. They're better than whatever the fuck Kenny Omega's doing with the Good Brothers. I think Team Taz is perfect. They got the young guy in Powerhouse Hobbs. They have Taz's son as people that are there to help. So yeah, I love Team Taz, but I think the point here is that Joe made it crystal clear. Sting has to win. Sting went 0-2 in his WWE career. If he starts off 0-1 in his AEW career, he'll be 0-3 in his last 3 matches, and he'll only be noticeable for his WCW run. So I think the reality of the situation is I think you have to keep it where Sting wins this match. I don't think there's another route you could go. And if it's Sting beating Ricky Starks, I think it also helps Ricky Starks because it's like, oh, you lost to, a Hall of Famer. You lost to a guy like that. I mean, it's just one of those things where I think Ricky Starks doesn't really necessarily get hurt by losing to Sting because it is Sting.
Right.
So I think we're gonna get Darby and Sting winning, and unfortunately I think Ricky takes the fall. All right, yes, let's get there. The match we really don't want to talk about because we have no idea what the fuck it's gonna be.
It's gonna be at least a half hour.
We know that. That's been announced. I'll go over the rules after I give it the formal introduction. It is for the AEW World Heavyweight title. It is the champion, the cleaner Kenny Omega, taking on Jon Moxley. Kenny will be brought to ringside by Don Callis. The rules for this match, which is an exploding barbed wire death match. 3 sides of the rings will be covered in barbed wire. Contact with the barbed wire triggers explosives on the corresponding sides. Triple hell, in quotation marks. 3 zones on the floor wired to explode. 30-minute countdown timer until all explosives in and around the ring detonate. According to Kenny, they made him leave a side open in case of an emergency.
Oh.
I'm just trying to see here. Oh, yes, right here. In your description, you say that 3 sides of the ring will be wrapped in barbed wire, but on the diagram you show all 4 sides having explosive barbed wire. Is it 3 or 4? Kenny responded with saying, they're making me keep a side clear in case of emergencies. So, Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. I don't like this. I've made it abundantly clear I don't like this. I think this is going to be the dumbest fucking thing that they could do. I think this is very well to get John off TV for an extended period of time because Renee is pregnant, and I think John wants to be with his wife, and he deserves that. He was a champion for however long, and I think he's earned the right to take a vacation, be with his pregnant wife, enjoy the birth of his child, stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that. Have an injury angle. have Gallows and Anderson hit him with a fucking car.
Yeah, for real.
I did it for The Rock. At least you did it for a reason. We're putting a match that Japanese deathmatch wrestlers are like, this is dumb. And we're bringing it to America, and we're going to have a multi-billion-dollar company put it on. If they're not shooting Roman candles at each other by the end of this is a failure.
I gotta say, I'm gonna take a moment here to be like, I've seen fans online on Facebook and stuff like that, the people who actually like these kinds of matches, going out there and being like, oh, you just don't know the history. Oh, Onita, blah, 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 blah. Like, look, I'm sorry, but some of us do know the history. Some of us have seen the matches. Some of us just think it's complete and utter bullshit. Like, we're allowed to also watch it and be like, oh, that's not for me. And you know what? I get it. AEW tries to do a little bit of everything for everybody. It's been there. That is one thing that they've consistently actually done since day one. Like, a lot of things that they said they were going to do, a lot of things about their persona, their kind of character overall as a company have come and gone, not really stuck to. Giving a little bit of everything in the wrestling world, that has been a thing they've always done since day one. I give them that credit completely. And you know what? Hardcore stuff, like, I was an ECW fan. I get it. I get where Tony Khan's coming from. There's room for it, and I've enjoyed it, the little bits that we've had. I've enjoyed, like, the unsanctioned match. I enjoyed, like, you know, when Joey Janela and Omega had that match. I even enjoyed Omega and Moxley's match when they had the unsanctioned match. That's good. This is too much. This is not my thing. This is someone's thing, and that's great. I wish it was on, like, Dynamite. I wish it was on something where at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you know what? This isn't my taste. I'm going to change the channel. I'm not going to watch this match. I enjoyed the rest of the show. I'm good on this. I'll move on. I'll find out who won. That's it. I'm paying $50 for this pay-per-view. I have to watch this match at this point. Like, you're giving me a variety of things on a thing where I'm giving you all of the money, whether I like the variety or not. If I want to see even one iota of this pay-per-view, I have to shell out the whole $50. I can't be like, here's 45. I'm keeping my last 5. I promise I'm tuning out when the main event starts. That's not an option. So that's the place where I'm a little annoyed as a fan who's not into this. And this is niche. This is as niche as you get when it comes to inside the wrestling product, you know? This is as niche as submission wrestling and all of that. And you know what? They're not putting that out there. They're not out here doing Ring of Honor. They're not out here giving us pure rules matches. They're not out here giving us anything like that, you know, matches with rounds and stuff. Not that I'm saying that I want that. I love that Ring of Honor does the pure rules stuff. I don't need AEW doing that. But, like, they're deciding to go in the opposite direction. They're deciding to give us this ultra-violent stuff that just doesn't work for me. So, honestly, like, Omega's going to win. Moxley's going to go away. Yada, yada, yada. Let's just get there. Let's move on. I'm much more excited to see what's going to happen next. You know, who's the guy that's going to debut? Is it going to be someone that Omega can go after next? I hope so. But let's get away from this bullshit. You know, if this is something that Moxley's always wanted to do, this is something that Omega's always wanted to do, this is something that Tony Khan's always wanted to do, it's never even been done, I think, on American soil before, like, great. Good for all you guys. You're getting your dream out of the way. You're getting to live your little fantasy. That's amazing. I love it for you. I'm good on this. I don't love it for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I would say that let's just do it and get it over with and move on. Because at the end of the day, it's time to move away from this.
It's like when you bottom for the first time. You're just like, let's do it, get it over with, and it's just a shitty zone. Just putting that out there. Look, it's 2 a.m. I'm tired. This is what you get.
Yeah, me and Joe are both on the Omega winning retaining the title here, and John going away. I don't think Ernest
is that Ernest there? Like, ask him what he thinks.
I can't see. It's just really dark. I don't
Ernest,
think he's back
are you
yet.
there?
Hello.
All right.
Is it me you're looking for?
I'm going to assume he's going to go with Omega. Let's just move on to the last topic.
All right. It's March. You know what that means. March Madness brackets are back. We talked last week about... Ooh, yeah, dig it. We talked last week about...
the worst Macho Man impression of all time.
First name Macho, last name Mano, huh?
My Macho Man sounds more like Mickey Mouse.
We talked on last week's show.
Oh, Elizabeth. Oh. I'm gonna beat your ass, Hulk Hogan. Oh.
Yeah, it is 2 a.m. Joe's definitely getting delusional. We talked last week about the tag team bracket and bringing the tag team bracket back. So what we did this week, I had the guys message me their top 11. We took 32. So basic mathematics, that's 33. That means we got 2 teams that are going to get into the play-in game and become the 16 seeds in our brackets. So what I did, rather than going to random.org so that 2 of my teams would face each other in the first round, I sat here and I laid out the bracket to where one of our tag teams is going to go against somebody else's tag team every first round. So you're never going to vote. You're never going to have to pick between your own team. Thought it was a fun little change for us. So what we did, I had them rank them. The play-in game, 2 of these teams are going to get to the into the 16 as the 16 seeds. I had to make some changes today to mine because a tag team was brought to my vision that I completely forgot about. So I moved somebody down and then I bumped the team that was in the play-in game out. The team that I took out of the play-in game was the Quebecers.
I think we can all live with that.
I replaced them with the tag team of Ted DiBiase and IRS.
Okay.
Earnest's play-in game team is the team of Power and Glory. And Joe's play-in contender, Steve Austin and Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes.
Oh, shit.
So what we're going to do here, and we have to wait for Ernest to come back because this is going to be a vote thing. Each of us are going to get 2 votes. So you're going to vote. We're basically going to vote who you don't want to advance. So
can I suggest?
Yes.
Why don't you run through like the teams that are in it, other than
I was going to run. Yeah, I was going to run through the bracket to waste
and
some
worst
time
case, if you get to the end of it and he's still not back, we'll just save the play-in for next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So the tiebreaker for the play-in, if 2 teams end up with the same and the other team doesn't get any votes or less votes, we'll flip a coin. Whoever wins the coin toss will go north-south bracket. Be very easy. In the tie of one team runs away with it and the other 2 teams are floundering with the same, it'll be heads versus tails. The winner of the coin toss will move on to the next round. So the north bracket, the 1 seed is Harlem Heat. Booker T and Stevie Ray. They are the 1 seed in the north. They will play a play-in game winner. The 8-9 matchup in that one, the Rock and Roll Express versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
The 4-13 matchup is going to get a little funky. It's the New Day versus Too Cool. The 5-12 matchup, the Legion of Doom versus Owen Hart and the British Bulldog.
That's actually, I feel like that match probably happened in real life at some point.
I think it did a couple times.
Right?
The 3-14 matchup definitely took place a couple times in real life. I think we talked about it on last week's show. It is the Steiner brothers, the 3 seed, versus the 14th seed of Doom.
Nice.
The 6-11 matchup in the north is the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid, against the team of Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, the Wyatt family / Bludgeon Brothers.
So wait, that's the second for what's his face?
That's the second appearance for the British Bulldog.
Right. Is he the only one that's on here twice? Oh no, because I guess Ron Simmons is probably here twice.
Ron Simmons is on here twice. That might be it though.
Oh wow.
Actually, no. Maybe not. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out together when we get there. Next up, the 7-10 matchup. my favorite personal matchup of the North bracket. It is the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, taking on the ECW tag team of the Pitbulls.
Nice.
And the final matchup of the North bracket, it is the 2 seed, the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, taking on the tag team of Rob Van Dam and Sabu.
Nice.
So that's the North bracket. Some interesting matchups there. I look forward to talking about Doom and the Steiner brothers. I look forward to talking about the Outsiders and the Pitbulls. The South bracket, a little bit more of a clusterfuck, I think, personally. The 1 seed in this bracket is the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. They'll play the winner of the other portion of the play-in game. The 8-9 matchup, this wouldn't fly in today's wrestling. It wouldn't fly back then in the 90s. But if 2 guys were going to go against the other 2 guys, I could see these 2 being the guys that could kick their ass. This matchup is the Gangstas, New Jack and Mustafa, taking on the tag team of the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard.
Oh, man. On paper, that sounds like a fun match.
Could you, like, Arn and Tully are 2 guys you don't want to fuck with, but neither are New Jack and Mustafa.
And they're both in AEW. Maybe New Jack is the surprise guy. He deserves to be in a Hall of Fame somewhere.
He should be in the ladder match, and that ladder match should have his theme song playing the entire time.
Yes! Oh, my God, yes.
The 4-13 matchup in the South. The 4-13 matchup in that bracket, London and Kendrick taking on the Impact players of Just Incredible and Lance Storm.
Ooh, that's a fun one. Okay.
The 5-12, the Nasty Boys, Sags and Knobs taking on the Bushwhackers. I know for sure that match is taking place. We watched it on a 1992 Royal Rumble, I think.
I was going to say, like, that's like an episode of Superstars main event.
Yep. The 3-14 matchup, I think this one's going to be a little bit more fun than it looks on paper. It is Demolition versus the APA.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay.
I like the way that one's going to shape up. The 6-11 matchup is the Eliminators, Saturn and Cronus taking on Strikeforce.
Oh, nice.
The 7-10 matchup's the one that I think that we're gonna go back and forth on. It's gonna be one that we're gonna get a little in depth on. The 7-10, the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty versus John Morrison and The Miz.
Oh.
And finally, to wrap up the South bracket, the 2 seed Usos taking on the Powers of Pain. It looks to me like the South bracket's going to be a little bit more competitive than the North bracket at points. There's like that log jam there where you have like APA Demolition, Eliminator Strikeforce, Rockers, John Morrison, and The Miz. There's going to be some tough matchups to come through the South to get to the final.
I'm not even sure which way I'll vote on those right now.
Yeah. So what we're going to do with the tag team bracket, in the past we've gone through the entire first round, entire second round. I want to do something a little different with this one because I want to pay homage to tag team wrestling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly this week pick we're going to do like 4 matchups per week just to really go in depth. So I'll randomly pick 4 and then we'll do another 4, and we'll get it through that way. So we can go a little bit more in depth on our picks and why we're picking teams over other teams and give you guys a little history, of the tag teams moving forward. So again, while we wait for Ernest to figure out if we're going to do this play-in game or not, the bracket again, Harlem Heat versus one of the play-in game winners, the Rock and Roll Express versus Rude and Ziggler, New Day Too Cool, LOD versus Owen and the Bulldog, Steiner Brothers versus Doom, Bulldogs versus the Wyatt family, Outsiders versus Pitbulls, and the Hart Foundation versus RVD and Sabu. The South bracket, Dudley Boys versus the other play-in game winner, the Gangsters versus Arn and Tully, London and Kendrick versus the Impact players, the Nasty Boys against the Bushwhackers, Demolition against APA, the Eliminators against Strikeforce, the Rockers against John Morrison and The Miz, and the Usos versus the Power of Pain. My 11 teams that I nominated, you obviously know that I put Money Inc. in the play-in game. My other teams included the Dudley Boys, the Steiner Brothers, the New Day, the Nasty Boys, the Rock and Roll Express, Arn and Tully, the Pitbulls, Owen and Bulldog, the Impact players, and the APA. Joe's teams in no specific order were the Usos, Harlem Heat, London and Kendrick, RVD and Sabu, Doom, Hall and Nash, the Hollywood Blondes, Miz and Morrison, the Wyatt family, the Gangsters, and the Eliminators. So Ernest's teams were the Hart Foundation, Demolition, LOD, British Bulldogs, the Rockers, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode. I don't understand that one. He's not here to talk about it, so that one really fucking confused the fuck out of me when he sent it to me.
He'll have to explain when they come up in the in their round. At this point, we should probably just do either do it on the show next week, or let's just do it ourselves and just announce it like on Twitter or something. Because I don't know if he's coming back, and I'd like to be in bed in the next 5 minutes.
All right, so hold on, let's open up the iPad here. We're gonna go on random.org. We're gonna put the 3 teams in. We'll hit. Oh, wait a minute! I think I see a hand.
I thought that was a hand. Oh my god!
Oh, that wasn't that. Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
ghost.
We'll see. How long it'll last. Yeah.
Oh well.
We could be done in 5 minutes because Joe's going to bed in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So we moved on from the topic. We've gone over the bracket so far for the tag team. I went over it a second time, hoping that would give you time to get back. We'll do the play-in game right now. I told them we're each going to get 2 votes. We're going to vote for the 2 teams we want to move on, and then we'll flip a coin. Heads goes to the north, tails goes to the south. We'll make it real simple.
Okay.
The play-in game, Joe's selection is the Hollywood Blondes of Steve Austin and Brian Pillman. Your pick was Power and Glory. Mine is the tag team of Money Inc., which was Ted DiBiase and Erwin R. Scheister. I made that change earlier today after a team came to my attention that I wanted to put into the bracket, and I took out the Quebecers. So the official picks, Money Inc.
That's who?
No, I haven't heard the name in a long time. I'm saying.
So the official bracket is Money Inc., Power and Glory, and the Hollywood Blondes. Joe, since you want to go to sleep, we'll let you use your first 2 votes.
You look tired, sort of.
I get 2 votes.
You have to pick 2 because we got to move 2 people over.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay. Then the Hollywood Blondes and Money Inc.
Before we go further, though, Mike.
Yes.
I thought this is only a WWE tag team.
No, I put that in the group chat. I said we expanded it to WCW, WWE, and ECW because it's all accessible stuff on the network. I didn't throw anybody from New Japan or Ring of Honor or anything like that. Point. I kept it very accessible to the WWE network, which is going to Peacock.
The cock.
Yeah. Laycock.
Laycock.
All right, so Joe took the Hollywood Blondes and Money Inc. Ernest, your votes?
Same one.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead because I'm going to vote for him too. Yeah. So Money Inc. and the Hollywood Blondes are going to go. I'm going to flip this coin real quick so we can pencil in the final bracket.
They're going dancing.
So that we can move on. Let's go coin flip. All right, so heads.
If I had to choose 2, I would have gone with Money Inc. for the record.
Look who's back. Look who's back.
MVPs and then we're done.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, buddy. We're done. Like 1 minute left.
All right, so the coin toss is being made right now while it does this. Flip the coin. All right. Yep. All right. So we're going to put Money Inc. into the top bracket against Harlem Heat.
Ooh.
And the bottom bracket, the south bracket, will be the Dudley Boys versus the Hollywood Blondes.
So the last one again? The Blondes against who?
The Dudleys.
Okay.
I'll send you guys a picture of this because I actually did it on a printable bracket, so Ernest can now see it because he wasn't here for the front half of it.
Yeah.
So all right, let's get the MVPs so that you can get your kid to bed and we can move on with our lives.
Yeah. You go first, Michael. Fuck it, I'll go first. I'll go first. Bobby Lashley.
I knew you were gonna go there, so that's why.
That was gonna be mine. It's still mine for the record, but it was gonna be mine.
Oh, okay.
The new Four Horsemen. The new Four Horsemen.
Ah.
You think that's what are they gonna call them?
The
I don't know, but but Arn broke out the 4 to Tully and JJ and those guys. So, I think my MVP this week is going to be Tully Blanchard, The Revival, or FTR, and Sean Spears. I think it's a fun little thing. I like where they're going with that. I hope it continues to be a thing where they actually, push those guys and, make them work together, because I think they could be a fun little heel group.
Remember what I said last week on the longest podcast?
You said a lot of things on this podcast last week.
Well, was it last week was our longest podcast? Well, hold our beer. This is usurped it. At least it's close to it, so. So, all right, guys, you got it in.
All right,
good. She said that too.
So
got it in a minute.
Hey, Joe, wasn't tonight supposed to be the start of your new post? That's great for you.
I love that for you. Let's do it the first show.
I said it before. I can still throw it in here, but like this week's I love it for you. We'll go to Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega and Tony Khan for getting to live out all of their boyhood fantasies and having explosions in a pro wrestling ring in America. Good for them, not so much for us.
Love that for you.
For those of you that are watching us on YouTube, awesome. Stay tuned next week. We're gonna have a big announcement for the show. Some things are getting shifted around.
Yes,
but we're not gonna tell you right now. We'll make you come back next week.
Yes.
That's Joe looking tired as fuck.
Is it a former champion?
It is.
Mean dark. Hold my kid. Because
yeah. And it's time to go to bed, boys and girls. So until next week.
2:30 in the morning. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.